Before we start our ritual of letting go, which has become something of a tradition in our congregation for this first Sunday of the new year, I want to honor all of my colleagues who are here today helping us make this service happen. Faith has been a forest these last couple weeks, and I want to acknowledge that we are deeply indebted to those who are present to make it possible today. I want to thank particularly Reverend Renwa Hamami, our community minister, who came to be with us today so that Mark Tuning, our music director, could get a well-deserved day off and so that we could enjoy Renwa's gifts. So thank you very much for being here. Our amazing intern, Michael Macias, in last week's service, introduced us to the idea of letting go, of the detritus of this last year, 2021, and it's one of those years when you just can't let go enough times. So in many traditions, which honor the connection between the elements of nature and the rhythms of our years, water is a part of purification. So in this space, we invite you to take some time and to consider what keeps you from fully engaging with your life, what keeps you from being present to the miracle of the everyday. These days, the actual days we are living, not the ones we would want to be living, but this actual everyday life that we move into in this 2022. In a few minutes, we're going to listen to Laura Zucker's music, and we will invite you to consider what should change and rearrange, what you might need to add to the waters and let go of and release, so that you can prepare space for the things that are and the ways that you wish to engage actively with them, not waiting for another moment, but taking the moments we have so that you can engage. We have some words to start you off, and you may add your own version of these. We'll have some space for that as well. If you are participating with us on our YouTube channel or our Facebook feed, please go ahead and add a word or a phrase of what you are letting go of in the comments, because we would like to share those together later in our service. Let us enter into the spirit of releasing that which keeps us from being present to the gifts of this year. I like the idea that the sacred is here in the world with us. That's comforting and companionable. We can have a dialogue with stones. We can talk to trees. We can laugh with the clouds. We can also quibble with our toothbrush, debate with our sofa, grumble at our tea kettle in the morning. The idea that all has a little bit of the sacred makes sense to me, as does the Shinto idea of kami, which is a word that's often translated as the spirits that live in everything, but it's more complex. It's the idea that there is a life force that is in everything: people, animals, the natural world, and even man-made objects, which, after all, if you go back far enough, all originate in the natural world. This pulpit has the spirit of the tree and also the spirit of its creator. The concrete floor beneath us holds the whispers of the ocean, remembered in the longings of the grains of sand that make up the cement. In Japan, a New Year's Day visit to a Shinto shrine is a gesture of asking the spirits to be in alignment with the next year. It's an act of intention. It's a putting of oneself in right relationship with those spirits, in whatever form they're in. In this way, ritual acknowledges both which is beyond us and that which is also within us, that sacred little piece of energy that we have also. kind of in the same spirit as the Jewish tradition of Tikkun Olam, the light that was broken, where the sparks and shards were sent into every one of us. Just as poetry can hold the complexities of truth that prose sometimes can't, spiritual concepts like the idea of the kami spirits in every one of these chairs and trees and birds and turkeys hold something that we know is true and yet can't put words to. Now, because we're doing this in our Unitarian Universalist tradition, we'll take a moment now for the doubting part of our own hearts. And that voice. Superstition, it scoffs. And of course, these beliefs aren't concrete. However, they are like those grains of sand that make up the concrete. For we all know, and we know that I think more now than we knew it 2 years ago, that truths exist that aren't just hard and fast the way concrete is. They're more shifting, like sands. Joy, for example, it's real, and so is love. And both of them are as hard to talk about as the feeling of sunlight on your face or the memory of someone who you've loved and lost. Yet these are just as real as the sensationalism of media or the hatred of rumor or the plague of false news. And we know all of those have power. So why can't these essential energies of life? As we start 2022, we might find ourselves with a particular antipathy towards the idea of anything that we do mattering, because it's so clear that everything is always changing and rearranging, and we might want to have a big, stinking argument, yelling fest with a COVID germ, as long as we can do it at a healthy distance. And yet, the word ritual or rite is also of the same etymology as the word order. And we all know in this disordered world that we need some time. We have never before so much needed some time to set ourselves in order and to set ourselves right. We can clear out space for what we want. These times make us wrap into ourselves, sometimes into our best selves, and perhaps also sometimes into the parts that are less generous and creative, loving and expansive. So we want to hear now if there are things that you wanted to let go of. And I'm going to invite my colleague Rodney to share some of the words you shared as I drop some papers into our water in honor of your wishes.
I'm releasing sometimes my hardened heart, releasing doubt to make room for abundance, letting go expectations of perfection, fear to try new things, impatience, self-doubt, fear of judgment, expectations of others and of self, fear in general, and finally, the feeling of helplessness.
Thank you for participating in that experiment and trying something new so that we could hear your voice during this service in the way we can this year. We really appreciate that. We're going to do another ritual together, another time of meditative thought. And we do these rituals in our world, at the shrine, here at the church, in our homes, in the streets, because we need each other to bear witness to what we ask in these perennial questions. What are our intentions for ourselves? What will contribute to our health and happiness? What are our intentions for those we love, and how can we give them more joy and freedom? What are our larger concerns in the world? Free elections, the right to shelter and health, the need to tilt the scales of inequity, and how do we take back our power to act? And that is what I'd like us to ground our intentions in today, because our skeptical voice, that skeptical part within our hearts, we may be hearing it in a dialogue with our favorite snarky t-shirt this year, giving intention a bit of a pretty big stink eye this year. Because these times of continually having our plans jerked out from under us can make us feel as if every plan we make gets changed, that every hope we have gets dashed. So why not just succumb to the message of the fridge and the screen and the couch, because their spirits might also be all we have. So, this morning, we invite you to take some time to consider what you want for yourself, for those you love, and for our wider world. When we feel powerless, we can be resigned to all kinds of injustices for ourselves and for others. The longer this pandemic goes on, the more resigned we become to living as reactors rather than actors. This 2022 is a new year, and in it, let us regain our power of action and intention. And so we begin this last ritual of embodying the sacred. Today, in this first service of 2022, may we dare to explore our intentions, reassert that we have power to make choices on how we expend our energy in these precious days to come. If we look across a whole year, we can feel overwhelmed. So we might as well just look at this new year in these first few days and make these intentions for these first days and then the days after, and then we'll see how it goes. We're going to begin with a version of the Buddhist loving kindness practice, this one informed by Arzika Rizak of the East Bay Meditation Center.
Please allow yourself a moment of loving embrace of yourself. May I be well in mind, body, and spirit, and may any parts not well be treated with respect and compassion.
And now we invite you to bring to your mind the pictures of those nearest and dearest to you and offer these wishes to them. May you be well in mind, body, and spirit, and may any parts not well be treated with respect and compassion. And we invite you to bring to mind those you meet in your everyday and extend these wishes to them. May you be well in mind and body and spirit, and may any parts that are not well be treated with respect and compassion.
Now, in whatever form you can, embrace the globe, and may all beings be well in mind, body, and spirit, and may any parts not well be treated with respect and compassion.
And in the statement of these intentions, claiming our own spirit, our own enlivenedness, our own life energy, we ask here within the embrace of our community, how will I contribute to my own well-being today? What strength and resolve, caring and healing energy will I offer to build the peace I wish to inhabit?
How will I contribute to the well-being of those I love? What strength and resolve, care, and healing energy will I offer to the peace I wish to inhabit?
How will I contribute to the well-being of those I encounter in my days? What strength and resolve, care and healing energy will I offer to the peace I wish them to inhabit?
How will I engage in that which will increase the well-being of communities and peoples? What energies and forces for good will I be willing to expend?
So let us take one more moment together, sharing the gift of silence and intention, to consider our wishes for this 2022. Together, may our shared commitments make the rituals of this year more than empty rites. Day by day, choice by choice, may we reclaim our power to shape the world. So may it be.